Well, greetings, my friends. I hope that you're in great spirits. And please do use the spiritual test there found in 1st Yachanan chapter 2, verses 3 through 6. I'm sucking a little bit of here. Mm, these are fermented tomatoes. What you do is you slice up tomatoes after you wash them well. A lot of liquid will come out of them, but fill it up with water to about here and put about 2 teaspoons of salt in there. Don't ever use table salt. Table salt will kill you. If you got table salt in your house, throw it away. It's got like 5 different chemicals in there that inhibit your cells from absorbing the sodium that's in the salt. And if you've got salt in your cells, then the radiation cannot affect you as it does. But what I wanted to do was explain to you how to make, and this you probably can't see this too awful greatly, but this is a sourdough kind of starter. It's a yeast starter. It's what our forefathers used, and of course we just went through Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and they didn't have this left over because they had made their bread and such. I don't know exactly how it works, okay, but hey, Harry Sit, thank you very much, my friend. This fella has just come around my site, our site, our king site. I'm nothing, man, but anyway, they didn't have fermented bread dough to make fermented bread, and they went for 7 days with unleavened bread. Now, after we finished the Feast of Unleavened Bread, problem is that most all the yeast, if you look out there, they got monostearates and all these other things they add to the yeast that's in the stores that's actually unclean. So you got to be careful when they list yeast in a bread if you're going to eat it or whatever. L-lysine, I believe it is, something like that, is hair that a lot of times is shaved off of corpses in China, sold to America. And Americans are so stupid, they'll grind it up and process it in such a way that they put it in your bread, as if abortions aren't bad enough. But anyway, for you to make regular bread, which you should do, we should make our own bread. I just started this. Actually, this is my second dose into this starter. What I did was I took 3 tablespoons of flour. I used 1 tablespoon of pastry flour. I'd never use self-rising flour, please. It's got phosphates and all kinds of poisons in there. Just take regular bread flour or pastry flour. And also I used a flax flour. They had ground the flax up, and I put 1 tablespoon of flax in here. I put 1 tablespoon of the pastry flour that I got from the Amish, and a tablespoon of regular bread flour. And with that, I took 2 tablespoons of pineapple juice, just pineapple juice, not sweetened, not anything with the vitamin C's or anything else in there. If you look hard enough, you'll find it. And if you don't have it, don't worry. You can just use regular distilled water. That's fine. Or like spring water from a bottle if that's what you've got. But don't use the tap water. And what I did was I took a tablespoon of flaxseed flour. I took a tablespoon of the bread, the pie dough, pastry flour, and a regular bread flour. I wanted to be a little bit exotic on this. And what you do is you take 3 tablespoons of flour, regardless of what you got. 3 tablespoons of flour, you put it into the jar, and you take, if you have it, if you don't have, 2 tablespoons of pineapple juice that's unsweetened. You don't want to put sugar in here. But if you've got 2 tablespoons of unsweetened pineapple juice, put it in there, mix it up. If you don't, that's fine. Just take 3 tablespoons of regular flour, put it into the jar, and 2 tablespoons of distilled water, spring water, anything but your tap water. Okay? If you got a well, that's fine. You could put 2 tablespoons from your well in there and stir it up. And then all you want to do, you want to let it sit out for about an hour or 2. And then just, that's all you do. Let it to where it can breathe and it can work. 2-3 times a day, you want to mix it up. Okay, after it's been mixed the first time, you just want to mix it up in there 2-3 times a day. After 24 hours, what you do is you just take regular flour or whatever you're doing, 3 tablespoons of flour, and then again, you know, if you already use the pineapple juice, that's fine. Don't do it again. Just use regular spring water, well water, or distilled water and put it in there. Mix it up again. And as the days go by, the jar will raise up because you're going to keep doing this every 24 hours. You want to stir this though 2-3 times a day, 4 times, 5 times a day, 20 times a day if it makes you feel okay. Just mix it a little bit. And put the jar lid back on like so. That's all you got to do. Just put it on there. Let it breathe. There's yeast in the grain already, and after a while you'll start seeing bubbles. You won't see it in this one. I'll do another video where it shows the bubbles starting from this. Okay, so when it starts to bubble, you can take off like, you know, a few tablespoons of the mixture and put it into a bowl or whatever. Mix up your flours and everything to make your bread. It'll make it rise. But you want to go ahead and put back what you took out in flour and water mixture and keep it mixed. And then put it in your fridge. I mean, if you got a big family, you got several children, you're baking bread all the time, you might want to double the amount, okay? 6 tablespoons of flour to 4 tablespoons of the water. And then you want to feed it. You want to make sure you feed it once a week, which is where you take out about, half of it or so to make bread with. And if you're not going to make bread, just throw it away. But you want to feed it back again with the amount you took out of flour and the water and mix it up. And that way you'll have something that will make your bread rise. It'll taste wonderfully. Don't put sugar in there. Like I say, you know, you don't want sugar in there. And if it turns an off color and it don't smell great, oh, this smells delicious already. And I've had it going for 2 days now. But if it has an off color, starts to mold or something, just throw it out and start over again. 3 tablespoons of regular flour. You do not want any type of self-rising flour. Throw it away. Get yourself regular flour, bread flour or pastry flour, things of this sort. But you do not want the self-rising flour because of the poisons in there. 3 tablespoons of whatever flour, and you can use spelt or, different things, chickpea, whatever you want. 3 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of the liquid. And you only want to use a pineapple when you first start it. Don't add no pineapple later. Just let it go. It helps it start within, a few days. Within 4 or 5 days, you'll see the difference. You'll see the bubbles starting. And then you can put it in your fridge after, you make yourself some bread. So hopefully I was a little bit clear on that. I don't know how clear I was, but if you have questions, please ask and I'll answer these things. But we threw out all our leavening for the Feast of Unleavened Bread and for, after Passover. So there's nothing out there I know in the yeast that's clean. And that's a horrible thing. So we need to start making our own. And don't forget, you should also, I made a video on eating butter and honey. Raw honey. Pure raw honey. Not heated and filtered and such. You want raw honey that's only got the legs and the eyes and the armpits, filtered out of it. And you want to eat honey and butter every day, just as our King did his own self. And I made a video on this. Most people don't understand it. They don't know that our King came eating honey and butter every day. It helps you to absorb righteousness and to eschew evil. And if you have any questions, please look up my video. Hey, I love y'all. Let's make some bread.